Never sing your song. Of the sacrifice of Calvary's tree is the reason I can cry out today. Oh yeah, Thank you, great and mighty creator of the world. Imela, Okaka Onyekerua. Oh, that is Nathaniel Bessie featuring Nitan Adaba singing the song Imela, or in other words, thank you. Every day is a day to thank the Lord. And therefore, today we thank the Lord for this beautiful day, the 19th, July 19th, 2019, 7/19/19. And I welcome each and every one of you to my story this morning, evening, or night, wherever you are. I hope you're thankful to God for Him waking you up, being with you all day, and most of all, loving you and giving you the gift of life, because it is a gift. We didn't do anything good to Him, but He just decided to let us have yet another day of life, another day of breath, another day of enjoying the little joys of life that He gives you and He gives me. The little joys of life, what are those? Breathing this air that I'm breathing, being able to talk. Some are in the hospital, cannot talk. Some woke up and no sound. No, they cannot absolutely talk. They don't know what happened to them. And so many other misfortunes. But as we're here, I see you, Karanja, Keromaya, Lilian Wambui, JW, Bricky, Sandra, Jeff Coney, Jamara, Ration, Tams, Mama, Hillary, Maggie, Kirori, Felista, Pasi, and many more, and I welcome each and every one of you. This is a beautiful day. It is a day that the Lord has made. Let us all rejoice and be glad in it. I'm happy and excited. That's why I found myself mixing up my words. But how great it is to have another beautiful day, another MyStory show. God has a purpose for you. That's why He kept you alive today. So you can come here and listen and gain something and get encouraged for tomorrow, for a better tomorrow. To have hope that you'll have a better tomorrow. Jen Mungai, thank you so much for coming in. And I would urge you to tag, invite, and share this video so that we can learn more about youth and suicide. As you know, guys, we've been doing Youth Summer 2019, and I don't have my guests today, but it is okay. We will continue learning as we go, and let it be an interactive video. Tell me if you can hear my sound. I am alone today in the studio. Mr. Job is not here, and so it gave me a little bit of trouble trying to set things up. I didn't even set some things up. So I hope you can hear me. So let me know. Give me a shout out. Tell me you can hear my voice, because I don't see any comment yet. And I don't want to talk to myself. So I hope you can hear me, guys. So please let me know the voice, the sound, how it is. Oh, maybe next time we'll make sure he's here so he can fix it. That's how we are so late. But thank you so much. I see a like. Yeah, if you cannot write, you can put a like, a love, an emoji, a laughing emoji, a love emoji, whatever. Just throw it in there. I will see. Thank you, Valentina, for coming in. Now, we're going to continue playing another song, and I would urge you again, please continue to share, invite, and tag your friends or enemies, for that matter, so they can hear. Kamau Moshiri, thank you for coming in, and we'll continue from there. So let's see who we can listen to. We can listen to Mr. Crown. Mr. Crown is gonna be singing the song. Steve Crown is gonna be singing the song Yahweh. So please, guys, let me know how the sound is, and so that we can all be together. Jesus. You are the God who is and is to come. Jesus, and you are just alive in your hand. Jesus. Steve Crown singing You Are Yahweh, You Are Yahweh. As we continue to invite, let's also listen to David Ikene, Better Tomorrow, as we continue to share and have a good quorum so we can start the program. tomorrow. Check me out tomorrow. Check me out tomorrow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful name. A song by David Ikene, giving us hope for tomorrow. Tomorrow cannot be guaranteed, but we can have hope for tomorrow. When you come here every Wednesday, every Friday, and we listen to stories or we listen to education about suicide awareness and prevention, we take the first step to preventing suicide. Education. We get educated. That's the first step to getting prevention on the way. And so thank you so much, David Ikene, for a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. And I see you guys are still coming in. I see you guys are sharing. I've seen the notifications. Thank you so much. May God bless you. My name is Grace Ngere, the host of My Story Show, bringing you live here on Facebook today and on Wednesdays and every single day. I thank you for your great support. Thank you all, Team Wambui My Story on WhatsApp, for your continued support, for your continued just holding each other's hands. And so today we are talking about Summer Youth 2019, Youth Summer 2019. We've been talking about youth on Fridays for a while now, and we've had a guest who have been coming and gracing us with their insights, their youthful insights about different subjects. And the reason why we had these young people come in, we had 2 girls and 1 guy, is to see how the mind of the youth works and what are we not doing as parents or the adults. And if the things, the challenges they go through, do they take them to this point of feeling like they don't want to be alive anymore? They feel like they want to take their lives away. And so today I came up with this thought about it. How about we talk about suicide and the youth? We've talked about suicide in general, but what are some of the things that the youth, or some of the statistics about youth and this monster, this silent monster? Because I believe education, information is power. So let's dive into it, and maybe I can give a shout out to a few people who just joined in. And Jenwa Mungai is saying she's in and the voice is perfect, and thank you so much. Margaret McGee, Kamau Isaac, Lucy Nduta is tuned as always, and thank you so much. Nancy Munywa, hi Lucy. Rachel Njuguna has joined us. Tomorrow must be greater than today, Lucy is saying. Lacey Gracie, thank you. Lucy is saying amen, amen. John Kwayu, Rachel Njuguna is saying hi to you, Lucy. Jen Mungai, hey, where is Alice? I guess she's on the way. What is the topic today? The topic today is youth and suicide. It's up there on the description of the video, Rachel Njuguna. I don't know if you can see it. Let me know if you cannot see it. I can write it again. And McGee, Stacy, welcome, welcome, welcome. My tomorrow better than today, Jen Mungai is saying, yes, yes, yes. And let's remember, today is not tomorrow. Steve Zuki, thank you for coming in. Job Mwaura, thank you for coming in. Job Mwaura today left me in the studio by myself, so I had trouble getting in, and I hope, but the people are telling me the voice is good. You know when you get used to getting told what to do, and you're left by yourself, and you're like, oh. But thank God we are able to go. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm Justin and John King. Welcome. Margaret Ndungu, Atriza Kamau. Thank you. And Justin is saying she loves my outfit. Thank you. It's a kitenge. Home, Kenya. Tribute to my home country. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And Justin, just kidding a little bit. And Triza Kamau, you have joined. Thank you so much for coming. All of you. Now, let's dive into the subject. Please remember to tag, share, and what did I say? Tag, invite, and share. Yes. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel when you get done. Wambui My Story is a YouTube channel. Now, please interact. Let's tell me what you hear I'm talking about. Ask a question. If I'm able to answer, I will answer it. I got this information from a website that I'll put at the end there, because I have it somewhere, but I can't see it right now. I'll put it on the description later when we get done. But at this moment, let me go right off. If you are at a place where you really feel down and you feel depressed and you feel stressed and you feel like you want to take your life, call 911 if you're in US. If you're not, Or if you're in US, call 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. That is the National Suicide Prevention Line. The purpose of this show is to help people. We need to prevent suicide. It is, I'm going to give you a few statistics here about the youth. Today is specifically about the youth. And so if you know somebody who is going through things, hard times, give them that number. Give them that number. Somebody can write it, 1-800-273-TALK, which is 1-800-273-8255, okay? And there's a website on that. I'll put that after I get done. And there is an international website too that you can be able to talk to somebody 24/7 safely, okay? Now, who is youth? Like right off the bat, can you tell me who is the youth to you? All right, according to the website that I looked up this stuff, the youth refers to school-age children 7 to 12 years and adolescents 13 to 20 years. This age group is by nature vulnerable to mental health problems, especially during the years of adolescence of young people. I mean, especially during the years of adolescence. So those years, the children have mental problems. And sometimes we take it as if, oh, they're going through these changes. We need to watch out, though. We need to watch out. There are differences, and we're going to talk about that. Young people have to make decisions about important concrete directions in their life when they're adolescents. This time, you remember, they're trying to figure out who they are, right? We all know that. Life and new challenges with regard to rebuilding their own identity, developing self-esteem, acquiring increasing independence and responsibility, building new intimate relationships, and etc. And to some degree, this leads them to have feelings of helplessness, insecurity, stress, and losing control. So if you are a parent of a young one, of an adolescent, it's good to create a rapport, a good rapport with them. Be talking to them. Don't assume when you see them not talking. It is all about being adolescent. Sometimes that is not the case. So here are some statistics that we can learn about youth and suicide. So sometimes, though, suicide is not reported accordingly. Why? Because of the taboo, stigma, and the sensitivity of the subject. And we have talked about this. We don't talk about it. We don't want to talk about it because, oh, if I say I felt like taking my life, how am I going to be perceived from now on? If I tell you, my child or my family member, it's not taken very well, specifically from where we come from. Now, suicide, one out of 12 young people, they have attempted suicide in the last year. 1 out of 12. Imagine that. But the good news, there's good news though. 11 out of the 12 did not attempt suicide. So it's a kind of the same number. Statistically, females attempt suicide more than 3 times as often as men. But men die by suicide more than 4 times as the female. In the age 10 to 24 group, 81% of the suicide deaths were males and 19% were females. Approximately 40% of youth suicides are associated with identifiable precipitating events, such as the death of a loved one, loss of a valued relationship, parental divorce, or sexual. Typically, these events coincide with other risk factors. One of the 3 suicide deaths is not the individual's first attempt. So it's important to also look at the attempts, the people who have attempted. It's very, very serious. And sometimes we say they're just seeking attention, but for sure they're seeking attention and also crying for help. Okay? Lucy Njuguna, Elizabeth Ngodho Davis, Lucky Lucy Buru, Juguna Grace, and guitar karaoke. Thank you for coming in and joining us. We're gonna take a little break and let's listen to Nathaniel. Nathaniel Bessie singing "You Are God." Listen to that, and I'm gonna step out for a second.
You are God from beginning to the end. There's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. You are God. From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. There's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. Amen. Amen. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You are God, beginning to the end. There is no other God but yourself. Thank you so much for
Keeping it on my story and guitar karaoke. Welcome, welcome. Monica Wambugu, Pauline Washo, Eli, Lily Matenge, thank you all for joining. Elsie Shiku, LC. Now, we got a big comment here by Mr. Job. He's saying it is important for parents and guardians of the youth to pay close attention to the changes the youth go through during the adolescent years. This is when the youth have the transition between childhood and into adulthood. When there is no guidance, youth could take on a path that would lead to self-destruction. Very well said. Thank you so much. This is an interactive video, so I do encourage each and every one of you to continue putting something up there. Put a comment. Tell us what you would do for a youth. Just let us know, and everybody we'll all have good information, and we'll be learned by the end of the show. We just talked about statistics on youth and suicide. And the next subtopic will be cultural variations in suicide rates. There's variations, you know. So here in America, it is highest in the Native American or the Alaskan Native, okay? The Caucasians, though, is second highest. And then African Americans are the third highest. Hispanics, they are more likely to report having attempted suicide than their black and white counterparts. The LGBTQ youth are considered to be at high risk for suicide than the heterosexual peers. Why? Because they get bullied, right? Or they feel like they're not accepted for their choices or sexual orientation. Then 81.9% of the LGBT students have experienced harassment, I just said that, at school because of their sexual orientation. 63.5% have felt unsafe at school. And suicide attempts, this is non-fatal, they are more frequent, and they are estimated about 10 to 20 times more frequent than actual suicide. So that's very important to consider. And I read that also on the statistics part of it. It's very important. They might be crying wolf or seeking attention, but you better know they're also seeking for help, crying out for help. What are some of the things that contribute to suicide? Risk factors. This one, which we all know, mental disorders, previous attempts, specific personality characteristics, genetic loading, family processes, you know, could be something, the family is not stable, triggering psychosocial stressors, exposure to inspiring models, yeah, availability of means of committing suicide, and contagion or imitation, which we're going to look into a little bit here. So availability of means of committing suicide. Here in America, we know something like firearms are very available, readily available. And so statistically, men use firearms to commit suicide, and it is available, so they are able to get it and they are able to use it. So those are some of the contributing factors. Mental disorders is a big one. Included is depression, stress leading to depression. People who attempt suicide, they are more likely to carry it out again. And also personal characteristics, maybe somebody who is not able to take stressors. I might not be able to take stressors as you might be able to take stressors as well. You know, I get overwhelmed quickly, and maybe you don't get overwhelmed quickly. And then family processes, how the families are they happy? Are they, the family, the mom and dad, are they divorcing? Such things. And exposure to inspiring models. And that's where I'm coming to contagion or imitation. This is a big one. We've had celebrities who have died in the past of suicide. And this day and time, our children are exposed digitally everywhere, every minute. And so they have their models they look up to on the TV. And so if this thing happens to one of them, then that was their role model, and you might find them following up. So it's important if a celebrity dies, whichever way they die, whether by suicide or any other causes, to follow up with their child and be there for them and understand that they are mourning, okay? And be able to help them. Because if you don't, they might follow suit their model. So let's talk about imitation, which refers to learning by modeling. The acquisition of new patterns of behavior through observation of the model's behavior. Imitation of suicide behavior by youngsters can be evoked at a micro level by mass media reports, peer groups, friends, or school environment. So it's very, very important to watch out on that. So the imitating effects may depend on a number of factors. One, the characteristics of the model, similarities between the young person and the model, like age, gender, mood, status, or background situations. As I just said, these models may be on TV. It could be you as a parent. It could be you as an auntie or uncle, etc., etc. Strong bond between the model admired, and so forth. And so the frequency and manner of presentation of the model's behavior is important by the media. You know, so the media may be talking about this person over and over again. So you can mention which celebs you know that have died through suicide, and find out with your child or your loved ones if they were aware of them and what they think of that. That's a challenge or a homework. So providing suicide prevention should be led by us, you and me. When we come here, we learn. We are helping. We are helping to spearhead this thing, prevention, by learning, by educating ourselves. So also we should incorporate media like what we're doing. Using this platform is a way of awareness, putting it out there, letting people know, talking about it. And we have talked about it over and over again, saying that we need to talk and talk and talk about it. Now, some stressors, maybe in detail, if we can mention a little bit, some youth stressors that contribute to youth suicides, because they don't usually just happen. So a number of stressors that contribute to youth's anxiety and unhappiness, that increases possibility of suicide or even suicide attempts, are like depression, mental illness, substance abuse. We said mental disorders, and some of those are the mental disorders I say. So there are also addictive disorders like alcohol use, drug addiction, which clouds judgment, you know, and their thinking is not normal, and so they are more inclined to making uninformed decisions. One thing that I found interesting as I was going through this is some things that youth might go through that maybe you might think it's just a part of growing up, is fighting or just being aggressive. You know, youth sometimes can be like that. So there's a connection, according to research, that interpersonal violence can contribute to suicide. And this is fighting males, both males and females, both are across ethnic groups, and even youth living in urban, rural areas or suburban areas. That was, to me, was like, oh wow, really? Yes. So kids fighting and stuff like that can also lead them to such. And I think also bullying can be counted as that, because most of the fights, you'll find that they come through bullying in schools. So let's take a little break, another little break, and we'll continue. Stacy Mamake, Miriam Jerry, Virginia Thuku, Naomi Jerry. Welcome, welcome, guys. Let's listen to this song by by who? By by a group called Pentecost, Jabu, Longwane, and Zimpraise. It's called There Is a Race.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a race. Everybody has a race to run. Okay, let's start our race. Come on. Everybody, join me. Let's do this. I need you to sing like you have a race. Come on. Let's see one more time. Let me really mean it. Come on. Let's run the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the right. Come on, to the right, to the right, to the right. Move like you have a lot of money. Come on, people. Do it like you don't have a problem. I want you to think of your problem. Look at them and say,